Hi, my name is Haley Roese, and the topic for this presentation is opinion writing. I will be talking about the similarities and differences between project-based learning and problem-based learning on the topic of opinion writing. The Ohio Academic Standards for Language Arts are used for this topic. The standard is about writing opinion pieces on topics or texts supporting a point of view with reasons and information. There are 4 substandards below this big standard of opinion writing, and I will be using all of these standards in both PBLs. So to start, for project-based learning on opinion writing, students would be placed in groups. Each group would pick a question from a teacher-provided list that they must answer for this project-based learning assignment. Some examples could include, should students be required to wear school uniforms in school? Another question that they might have a choice of choosing from could be, should chocolate milk be served in the school cafeteria? The questions that students could choose from would all be of interest to them. To answer the question appropriately, students will then have to conduct research. Research could include, obviously, information students find online from any online databases, or students could interview classmates, parents. They could be interviewing anyone as well. After they have gotten their research, each group will then write and create a newsletter to present their opinion. They will use their research findings to support their opinion in the newsletter. I would give them requirements for the newsletter. It would need to include title, headings, subheadings, pictures or images, and then it would need to include facts and details from the research. All of this would need to be organized neatly. Paragraphs would be fine in the newsletter, anything that the students would find appropriate. Now, on the other side, for problem-based learning, still focusing on the opinion standard that I shared at the beginning, students would be presented with a problem this time around. The problem could be our school principal is being pressured by parents to require school uniforms be worn in school, or the problem could be our school principal is being pressured by parents to take chocolate milk out of the school cafeteria. Students will be placed in groups. Students will conduct research in their group to come up with a solution to the problem. Groups could pick the problem of their choice, so the whole class does not need to be focusing on the same problem. Research and solutions need to be typed in paragraph form to turn in once they have conducted their research. Once they've typed it up, students will then debate in class about their findings and on what each group thinks is a good solution. So again, there might be 2 to 3 debates going on in class at the same time, and that's okay. It would just depend how many groups chose the same problem to focus on. During the debate, each student in the debate would need to talk 3 to 4 times just to ensure that everyone is taking a turn. Each student needs their group's findings printed out in front of them. This would encourage them to look back at their findings throughout the debate. They would not have to memorize anything. Each student must provide research to support their opinion in the debate. Again, they need to use their findings that's printed out in front of them and refer back to the research that they found. Now, with both of those PBLs discussed, there are some similarities between both. A big similarity, obviously, is the overall goal. We're focusing on opinion writing here, and the opinion standards we're focused on in each learning. Also, collaboration is a similarity. In both, students are collaborating with each other in groups. Students are also encouraged to use multiple sources of information in both PBLs. Again, I would encourage them to interview classmates, use online databases, use the internet in general. They're encouraged to get information from a variety of places. Also, both PBLs focus on the 21st century learning skills. Those include communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And lastly, in both PBLs, teachers act as facilitators. This is not a stand-up and lecture type of learning. teachers are facilitators and walking around and helping as needed as the students explore the solutions and answers to the question. Now, there are major differences between the two. Project-based learning is more in-depth and it takes longer, as Lynch mentioned. Project-based learning starts with a question, and project-based learning has a final product. So in the situation I described, it would be the newsletter that students are creating. In problem-based learning, it is a little shorter in length just because there's not necessarily a product at the end. It starts with a problem, not with a question. And with problem-based learning, there's a debate at the end, not necessarily a product. These are the references that I used for this presentation, and thank you for listening.